There are sounds you never forget. A parent's voice calling your name, a best friend's laugh, the cry of someone you love. Those sounds become part of you. You recognize them instantly. I freeze alley. Which is exactly why what happened inside Marker 13 still terrifies me, because whatever lived there didn't imitate voices poorly. It copied them perfectly. Every breath, every pause, every emotion, every crack in the voice, until you couldn't tell the difference anymore. And by then, it was already too late. The morning after we discovered the impossible staircases, Ethan and I refused to speak unless absolutely necessary. Not because we were angry, because we had learned something horrifying. The forest listened. Every word we spoke eventually came back to us, sometimes hours later, sometimes days later. Always from somewhere deep among the trees. It started with something small. We were hiking along an abandoned logging road when Ethan quietly asked, "You still have any water?" I handed him the bottle. Neither of us thought anything about it. 5 minutes later, the same sentence echoed through the forest. "You still have any water?" It sounded exactly like Ethan. The same tired voice, the same exhausted breathing, the same tone. Except the sound came from somewhere ahead of us. We stopped walking. Neither of us moved. Then my own voice answered from somewhere behind us. "Yeah. Here." Word for word. Exactly what I had said. A chill ran through my body. Ethan slowly whispered, "Don't answer." We continued walking in silence, yet the conversation repeated. Again and again, each time from a different direction, sometimes left, sometimes right, sometimes directly above us. As though invisible people surrounded us, repeating our words, learning them, practicing them. By noon, we reached a dried riverbed. The silence felt unbearable. Then I heard my sister's voice. "Ryan." I froze instantly. No. She lived hundreds of miles away. She had never been here, yet I knew that voice without question. Ryan, this time closer, more desperate. I need help. Every instinct told me to run toward her, but Ethan grabbed my backpack. Hard. That's not her. How do you know? His answer still haunts me, because I heard my wife yesterday. I stared at him. "You never told me you were married." He looked away. I wasn't. Before I could ask what he meant, his wife's voice echoed through the valley, soft, gentle. "Ethan." Tears filled his eyes instantly. "I miss you." He nearly ran. I had to physically hold him back. The voice changed, becoming frightened, then desperate, then crying. "Ethan, please." He collapsed to his knees, covering his ears. "It's learning," he whispered. "It's getting better." Suddenly, the crying stopped. Silence returned. Then a new voice spoke. Mine. "Thanks for bringing him." I couldn't breathe. I had never said those words, yet it sounded exactly like me. The forest laughed. Not one laugh. Hundreds, all using voices we'd heard before. Children, parents, friends, campers, rangers, all laughing together. We ran. Branches tore at our clothes. Roots grabbed our boots. Behind us, the voices chased us, calling, begging, crying, screaming, each one perfectly familiar. Eventually, we reached a rocky cliff overlooking a valley. The voices stopped instantly. The silence felt even worse. Then we heard footsteps. One pair, walking toward us, slow, steady, confident. A man stepped out from the trees. He looked exhausted, dirty, terrified. Relief washed over me. Another survivor. He raised both hands slowly. "Please." I've been lost for days. His voice sounded completely normal, human, real. Ethan didn't move. He simply stared. The stranger continued. "My name's David. My GPS died. I've been hearing voices." Everything he said matched our experience perfectly. For a dangerous moment, I believed him. Then Ethan quietly asked, "What's today's date?" The man answered instantly, without hesitation, September 18th. Ethan's expression hardened. He looked at me, then whispered, "It's July." The stranger smiled, just slightly, almost unnoticeably. Then he spoke again, only this time, his lips didn't move. The voice came from behind us. "Ryan." We spun around. Nobody. Then the same voice came from above. "Ryan." Then below us. The stranger's smile slowly widened, far wider than any human smile should. His face began changing. Not melting, not transforming, simply becoming someone else. "My father." I staggered backward. "Dad?" He smiled. "My son." Every childhood memory flooded back instantly. His laugh, his smile, the way he spoke. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Tears blurred my vision. Then Ethan slapped me, hard. The shock broke the spell. When I looked again, the figure no longer resembled my father. It had no face, only smooth gray skin, like wet clay. Yet its voice remained my father's. I waited so long. More faceless figures stepped from the trees, dozens, then hundreds, each without features, blank, expressionless. Then faces slowly appeared like wet paint spreading, eyes, noses, mouths, hair. Each one became someone we knew. Jake, the ranger, Emily, our families, friends, teachers, even ourselves. The valley filled with familiar faces, thousands of them, all smiling. Then every copy spoke together. "Come home," the words echoed through the mountains. My head pounded. I couldn't think, couldn't breathe, couldn't remember which voices were real anymore. Even Ethan's voice sounded unfamiliar. Was he really beside me? Or had the forest copied him too? He noticed my hesitation, terror crossed his face. "Ryan," I slowly stepped away. "What if you're not Ethan?" His expression shattered. "No," he whispered. "It's making you doubt me." He was right. But how could I know? The creature had copied everyone else perfectly. Why not him? Then something happened that answered my question. The real Ethan reached into his pocket, pulled out the wooden token from the staircase, and snapped it in half. Instantly, every voice stopped. Every copy froze. The faceless creatures turned toward Ethan, together, at exactly the same moment. Their expressions changed. Not angry, hungry. The ground shook violently. The forest screamed. A sound unlike anything human. The faceless creatures began collapsing, melting into black liquid, flowing together across the ground, toward one enormous shadow, standing among the trees, watching us. It had no face because it didn't need one. It could wear anyone's. It slowly opened its mouth. Hundreds of voices emerged simultaneously. Which one? Pause. Is really you? I looked at Ethan. He looked at me. Neither of us answered, because for one terrifying second, I wasn't completely sure. The creature smiled as though it knew exactly what I was thinking. Then it whispered one final sentence, using my own voice. Perfectly. "I've been pretending." The forest exploded with echoes. Every tree repeated the words again and again and again. I turned toward Ethan. His face had gone completely pale. He wasn't looking at the creature anymore. He was looking at me, very slowly. He took one step backward. Then another. "Ryan." His voice trembled. "Say something only the real you would know." Before I could answer, someone behind us did, using my voice, word for word, exactly what I was about to say. To be continued.